Thank you for tuning back in. Before I get into the main part of the video, I just thought that I would mention that this is my first podcast episode. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can also find most of my videos, not the readings, but most of my videos I'm going to aim to put onto podcasts. So it'll be available on Apple Music, Google, and Spotify. So yeah, if you're more of a podcast person, you want to go for a walk and you want to listen rather than watch, or you want to drive, that kind of thing, you can do that now. So I thought that I'd get that out of the way, and also vice versa. Hello, if you're listening to this on the podcast, you can also watch the video if you're more of a visual person. So now that I've done that, I'm just going to get into what I want to talk about, which is Reiki. I'm going to do a little bit of an introduction. I can't speak. I'm going to do a little bit of an introduction on what is Reiki, what are the benefits of it, why would you get a session. Like I said in my last video, over the last couple of years, I did my Reiki training and I've done it all the way through to be a Reiki master. So I thought that I would make a video explaining like what it is before people like book in. And just to inform you as well, like even if you don't want to get a Reiki session, maybe you just want to know what Reiki is. So yeah, this is just kind of like a video that I can refer people to if they need a deeper explanation. So what is Reiki? Reiki is a Japanese healing technique, and the word Reiki translates to universal life force energy. So it's the energy that is in every living thing. It's in plants, it's in people, it's in animals. It's kind of like the soul, or what other cultures might call mana or prana. It's the life force energy that drives everything, gives everything purpose. And it's a very healing energy. It's like a white light energy, very high vibrational, and it's also said to be on the same vibrational level as love. So it's a very relaxing, healing, calming energy, and it brings a lot of clarity. It's just a great time all around. So why would you get Reiki? Like, what are the benefits of it? Reiki can be beneficial for sleep. It can support people through anxiety and depression. I can vouch for this firsthand. It definitely helps me when I'm going through like a really hard or anxious time. It just helps me to like calm my nervous system and bring myself back to myself. And I think that's kind of like the core of Reiki, is it kind of allows you to come back to yourself and what you want and like what your soul is here to do. It's just very comforting, and it feels kind of like an energetic hug from the universe. You just feel really warm. My hands get really warm. That's another thing. Some people also report that Reiki helps with their pain. That's not something that I'm going to go around advertising. Like, I'm not going to be like, come and get a Reiki session and your pain will go away. It's nothing like that. It's just, some people do experience that. So if that's something that you did want to book into, we can try to do that, but I can never promise that. But if you think about it on like a healing level, when your body is in a state where you're fully relaxed, it allows your body to start to repair itself and heal itself. And total relaxation can be super beneficial for the body, super beneficial for pain. So that does make sense. Reiki also helps with enhancing your spiritual connection and personal awareness. So if you're feeling a little bit out of alignment, a little bit disconnected, Reiki can really help bring you back in on that level. It can give you a lot of clarity. The type of Reiki that I do is intuitive Reiki. So traditional Reiki is the running of energy just as it is. And because Reiki has been around for thousands of years, it's kind of like yoga where different branches of Reiki have kind of appeared. So there's different kind of types of Reiki you can get. There's Reiki for animals, there's Reiki massage. The type of Reiki that I do is intuitive Reiki. So basically I run the energy, and in that I also can feel things on behalf of other people. Like different healers will have different, abilities or strengths, different ways of doing this or connecting. I have found that I'm quite empathic, so I will feel things on behalf of the other person a lot of the time. So like sometimes I will feel like a frog in the throat if there's something to do with like the throat chakra that needs healing. Or I guess on a more intense level, I have experienced anxiety attacks on behalf of other people. I'm not someone who gets anxiety attacks, but there was a girl that I was doing Reiki on, and during the whole session, it was very, very calm. I had no reason to be anxious whatsoever. But then I got to her crown and drew like a specific symbol out of her crown, and I basically experienced what felt like an anxiety attack. Everything started like blacking out for me. I literally needed to leave the room. At the time, I didn't really think anything of it because I was just in the middle of like my training and stuff. I think I even got like the flu the next day, so I just kind of brushed it off as me being sick. But then we did another session like a month later, and literally the same thing happened. The whole session was very chill. But then as soon as I got to her head, I just, had the same thing where I had to literally leave the room and like scull water because I was like, I'm either going to pass out or throw up. Like, I don't know what's going on. And then I said to her, like, look, this is like, it felt like an anxiety attack. I don't know what else, like, it could have been, but I have no reason to be anxious. And she was like, I have anxiety attacks like all the time. So it's kind of that kind of thing where like I will feel things and that can kind of tell me what's going on with the person. But yeah, it's not like super intense like that all the time. A lot of the time I also get visuals, like symbols and stuff like that. A lot of the time I see it in like the form of animals. Also during the session, the client can also feel these sensations. Like you can have visualizations, you can feel heat a lot of the time, obviously from my hands. You can feel like spinning sensations in the body. Like there's all kinds of things that can happen, and every single session is different, especially with every single person. So, but the main thing that you would feel during a Reiki session is just deep relaxation, peace. I know that in one of the hospitals here in Perth, they actually offer a volunteer program for Reiki with people in the hospital who are terminally ill because it gives them a sense of peace and calm. So yeah, like it is something that is also being recognized a lot more in like the medical system, I guess, because there is actually quite a bit of science behind it as well. So yeah, Reiki is really good for a lot of things. Very relaxing, very zen, very chill. So what would a session look like? You would basically lie down on a massage table on your back, and I would put my hands over you on your body physically. Like there are types of Reiki where people do it off of the body, more in like the auric field, but the way that I was taught was very hands-on. So I just hold my hands at different parts of your body for a few minutes at a time, and I just help to direct and guide the energy to where I feel that it is most needed. How often would you want to get a session done? My sessions currently go for 1 hour, and it's kind of like a massage in a way where you might, feel like you've got a bit of tension in your body, and so you just go and book a massage just as a one-off thing. Or you can book a massage maybe like once a month to kind of really get the tension out of your body, if that makes sense. So it really depends on like what you want to do. If you've got some stuff going on in your life, like some grief, like depression, like something really heavy, and you really want to commit to working through it, you could go once every couple weeks or once a month, or you can just come in when you feel like it. It really just depends on like what you feel like you need. And it's kind of like a massage or going to the chiropractor or even going to a counselor, where you go and you get the experience and you feel super relaxed. But then, like going to a counselor or a chiropractor, you also need to kind of help yourself in the meantime, if that makes sense. So I don't ever want to be like, oh my God, come to me and I'll fix all your problems and you'll be healed and then everything's going to be all good, because that's just not how healing works. It's just not it's like anything else. It's like going to a therapist. You also need to do the work in the meantime. Energy work is very much like peeling back the layers of an onion. So you might have one session and then you've peeled one layer back, but then there's still a few more layers to work through. Like I said, it just depends on where you feel like you're at and what you feel like you need. So yeah, you can always book as you need to, or book a whole bunch of sessions over a certain amount of time. It's just whatever you feel like you need. But also, going to see a healer is not like I'm going to click my fingers, wave my magic wand, and you're fixed kind of a thing. It's not like that at all. It's more like someone holding your hand and holding the light up for you and helping you to see what it is you need to see, or you know what I mean. It's guidance. Like, I don't feel like I need to over explain that. Hello, this is post-production editing Mel, here to quickly break the fourth wall and just add a little something extra that I forgot to mention. Reiki is not an alternative therapy and shouldn't be used as an alternative therapy. It is a complementary therapy. So Reiki, like any kind of healing, is its own thing. Going to a doctor is its own thing. Going to see a naturopath is its own thing. Speaking to a counselor is its own thing. So you wouldn't go and get a Reiki session and have it as a replacement for any of those things. It's really good to be used as its own thing. If you need healing, then go and get healing. But it can also be really beneficial to go to a counselor and also get Reiki at the same time. Does that make sense? So it's good used in conjunction with other things, but not to be replaced with anything. It is its own thing. So is therapy. So is, going to see a health practitioner. They are both, all their own thing, just to be very, very clear. Just thought I would add that in there. And now we are going back to video Mel. Another thing that I will hopefully be offering soon is distant Reiki. So the logic behind that is we can both sit on a Zoom call at the same time, even though we might be literally on the other side of the planet. But because we're both in the present moment, giving each other our attention, the Reiki will make its way to you. And I think that intention is like a very, very powerful thing, especially when both people, like, you don't have to be in the same room to really experience something. And I've had distant Reiki sessions before and they are really, really good. But yeah, that's also another thing that I will hopefully be offering soon, but I just need to figure like a few things out before I do that. But yeah, I hope that this was a thorough kind of explanation on Reiki and what it is. If you do have any further questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, or you can always send me a message. I'm happy to explain. But yeah, I feel like I've pretty well covered it for the most part anyway. Like I said, you can find me now where podcasts should be, so Apple, Google, Spotify, and vice versa. If you want to watch the video version of these podcasts, they will be on my channel on the YouTubes. So yeah, I hope that you have an awesome day and that this video was helpful. I will see you in my next video episode thing. Thank you.